We are back for another exciting episode of the hashtag Wednesday Match Play, and I've only had to reschedule tonight's guest like 6 times, so I'm glad that we were finally able to get this dialed in, finally able to get him live and in front of us. And I've been using the putter off and on, and I just need to make the switch and put it in my bag permanently. But tonight's a product that I've had in my hands for quite some time. I actually gave one away at hashtag the Oven 15 last year. A good friend of mine who actually lives in Berlin won the putter and does have it in his bag permanently. He loves it, and I am really excited to learn more about the product, the history behind it, and from what I can tell, our guest tonight is quite the stick. So tonight's episode of the Wednesday Match Play is presented by Eat Sleep Golf. I have to apologize, and I blame Google for this. The lower thirds are not working, so you don't get to see the fact that this is presented by Eat Sleep Golf. So the one night that I have a lower third for our guest, and they aren't working. So I blame Google for that. But we have Sheldon Long with us from Tru-Roll putters. And versus me trying to explain what the putter is, and quite frankly, it's probably one of the most unique putters on the market today, I'm going to turn it over to him, introduce him, and let him give us a couple of minutes about what the company is all about. So Sheldon, welcome to the Wednesday Match Play.
All right, thanks for having me, Ricky. I really appreciate the chance to come on. Basically Tru-Roll putters is pretty much what it sounds like. We have a line of putters, all of which have a cylindrical head. And my theory and belief is that the round face does a few things for us. It's all about maximizing our margin for error and getting the ball rolling as soon as possible. So what the round face does is right from address, it gives us a consistent point of contact. It doesn't matter where the ball is in our stance or where our hands are at address. We're always going to have the same effective loft in position at impact. So right from setup, we're increasing our chances for success. And then what the round face is going to do is going to help promote a topspin, and which is going to help reduce the hopping and skidding that we get from time to time with our traditional flat face putters. So in order to be a good putter, obviously we got to get it rolling on our line as fast as possible.
And that's a Tru-Roll, so hence the name.
Tru-Roll.
My first question was, where did the name come from? So let's just go ahead and assume that question has been answered. So,
all right.
And the brand is really well put together. I mean, the logo is great. The colors are simple and clean. Kind of talk to me a little bit about the brand and how where it got started. Did you just wake up one day and say, hey, I have this idea for a putter that doesn't exist, and just roll with it? Or where did it all start?
Kind of. You're not too far off. My background is as a golf professional, and before that I was just a small town farm kid. Grew up playing on Tobiano at a muni, and was struggling with the putters I had at the time. Just couldn't get them online, so really struggling controlling the distance. And I was playing pool one night, and then it just kind of dawned on me, if I had round surface hitting round object, I could get a hug on the green, rolling a little faster. So I literally left the putting green mid-practice session where I had my 3 putters out at the time, and went back to the shop on the farm. On my way home, I took an old 9-iron I had lost and found in the pro shop, so I had a shaft to use. Found a piece of steel, cylindrical head, cut it, drilled a hole, glued it together, went back to the putting green, and I could tell there was something there. I mean, the diameter of my first prototype was too small, and it literally looked like it was extremely homemade, but I could tell there was something there. So I just kind of refined it, made a couple more, and then when I got in the business, obviously would draw a lot of attention time I'm doing a putting clinic or out playing with some members or guests. I get a lot of, what the hell is that? What's going on here? And then when people would try it, they say, geez, you should do something with this. And eventually I kind of got tired of hearing that to some degree. And I heard it enough times that gave me the confidence, okay, let's pursue this a little bit. And then, it was a long process. It took about 3 years and 7 factories to kind of get the prototypes where I was happy with them, and where it made sense. Getting the USJ approval, RNA approval, all that sort of thing. It was a big, long process. But since then, it's been really well received. company's grown exponentially every year, which is great. So I was able to turn it from an idea. Essentially, I just started for myself to improve my own putting into now a putter that was selling in 45, 46 countries at last count. So it's kind of cool now. Every once in a while, the odd chance I do get to play, I'll go and just go to the driving range and can see them in other people's carts or see them on the putting green, or somebody will send me a tweet saying they've got one the other day. This guy's gone 4 rounds without any 3 putts, which is awesome. And yeah, so it's great to see something that you design yourself help other people and see them get enjoyment out of it, for sure.
That's so cool. Yeah, I don't have a lot of 3 putts because after 2, if it's not in the hole, I'll just pick it up and go on to the next.
Pick it up. Yeah.
Or I mean, it's good. So, any tour players using the putter?
I have some mini tour players, and I actually mailed one out about a week and a half ago to a very accomplished tour player. He's actually in contention for, played really well at New Orleans. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say who that is at this point because it's really fresh, and I don't even know if it's in his hands yet. I know it's in his instructor's hands, and he'll be doing some testing with it shortly. But one of those guys on tour who's known for exceptional ball striking, and by tour standards struggles from time to time with the putter. So hopefully this will help him out and help him get over that hump and get that first win.
So as soon as he announces that he's using it or he puts it in the bag and you can announce it, make sure you let us know, because that could be like some breaking news, like in the Google Plus golf community.
For sure.
I love it. So I have to assume you are using a Tru-Roll putter. Are you using the first one that you built, or have you changed? And as you come up with new models, are you switching, or kind of what's your personal putter strategy?
My personal putter strategy is always been from ever since I was junior, whatever's working best at the day. So I do play around a little bit. I don't have the original one anymore. It's down in the basement. It looks a little bit like I don't know if a sledgehammer is quite the word, but it's a little too rough around the edges and the weight's off and all kinds of stuff to use the original. But every once in a while, I do take it out and hit a few in the basement on the putting green just for fun. So right now I have a left-handed TR1 with the interchangeable weights, and it's been treating me really good. So
that's awesome. So left-handed, does that mean you stand on the wrong side of the ball?
Yeah, always. Yeah, the only thing I do right-handed is shift gears in the truck. I can't do anything right-handed.
That's awesome. Well, that puts you in the 1%. But you got to think some of the best guys on tour. I mean, Bubba and those guys, they're left-handed, so it's not all wrong.
Well, being Canadian, we're probably 15-20% up here for whatever. I have no idea why. They say it's because of hockey. I don't know, but I do sell. I sell a lot of left-handed putters up here. The challenge for me as a manufacturer is being left-handed myself. I have to make that call every time I get a new model. I want to make it left-handed for personal reasons, but it's hard to justify, increasing a whole lot and adding SKUs just because I want to have one for myself. So I don't get to try as much of the new models as I'd like, just because it doesn't make sense.
So a lot of guys on tour that are starting to putt well, Adam Scott being one of them, are doing the whole Aimpoint concept. Mark Sweeney is a buddy of mine. I have John Graham, who teaches Aimpoint, is a very close friend of mine. And he's done a lot of stuff with Aimpoint. So have you used Aimpoint? Have you seen the process? And what are some of your thoughts on Aimpoint as a whole?
I've seen it on TV. I haven't tried it myself. One of my friends and customers here in town, Sean the Boy, the executive professional at the Calgary Elks Club, swears by it. But to be honest, I haven't had a chance to try it myself. But I'm on the belief of whatever, putting is so much about confidence. So whatever's going to help give you that little bit of an edge, give you a little bit more confidence, I'm all for it. If I tried it and it helped me, I wouldn't care what the rest of the guys in my foursome thought about me trying it. Wouldn't bother me in the least.
I haven't gotten anyone to admit it, but I've gotten some looks as if there might be a little bit. I use the Plumb Bob method when I putt, and I feel like it does help. And to the point of confidence, I look goofy, hold my putter up, and doing the whole thing that I do, like the way I feel like I've learned Plumb Bob. And I feel like a foundation of Aimpoint is Plumb Bob. And I asked a pro not that long ago who is certified, and I said, "Is there any correlation?" He said, just kind of shook his head, smiled a little bit, and I was like, "Yeah, there's got to be a little bit in there." So, go ahead.
I was gonna agree 100%. In the time I tried Plumb Bob just a little bit on the putting range to see what somebody was talking about, and for me, I was doing the same thing. I was trying to be a little more in tune of how the ground felt under my feet. And I was using the thumb eye to see how much to allow for the break as well. Very similar, in my opinion, as well.
I played with a guy, it's been probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he was legally blind, but yet he could see enough to play golf. I mean, so I don't understand how you can be blind but still be able to see enough to play golf. But he didn't lose a golf ball the entire time we played together. And one of the things that he kept doing is he would walk behind the ball and he'd stand and he would measure the height with his feet. And I do that quite a bit too, because I feel like the older I get, the less I can see which way it's going to break. So I'll stand behind it and I'll look on the side or whatever, but the feet method really has helped me too. So there's a million different things that we could use, but the confidence, it comes back to that, because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get the ball into the hole however I do it, and the confidence is definitely going to help that.
Yeah, absolutely. You have those days where you're standing over a 6 or 12 footer and you think, I can't believe the guys are making me putt this. You couldn't miss it if you tried, and then you get it could be the very next day or the day before, you're sitting over a 3-footer and say, geez, I wish they would give me this, because it's just not there. I find anyway, a lot of times, and from my experience as a teacher, you just get that feeling even before you get over top of it. It's just you got no chance, or you couldn't miss it if you tried. So anything that can help get you on the right side of that fence is 1B.
My buddies, I'm a pretty good putter, and we do gimmies and just pace of play, and just if it's a couple of feet, whatever, pick it up, or inside the putter, which some people have longer putters than others. But it's funny that the days where they're like, all right, you're putting everything out, Ricky, and they won't. They'll pick it up. And the days that I put everything out, I make more putts than if they just give them to me. So I can appreciate that. So Eat Sleep Golf said that Tru-Roll won the 2014 PGA Show Buyer's Choice Award. Which putter won the award? And what has that accolade done for the Tru-Roll brand?
Well, that was huge. So hopefully this isn't too long an answer. So basically what did 2013 golf season was our first year in business. And so we did really well pretty much locally here in the Calgary, Southern Alberta area. And basically took all the sales revenue and spent it off. Because going to Orlando is not an inexpensive venture by any stretch of the imagination, and basically took everything, put it all on the PGA show, went down, got a booth, and winning that award was huge. It opened up all kinds of opportunities, and you've been to the show, I'm sure. There's people from every corner of the planet there. It opened up some opportunities internationally, so some great marketing connections. It really helped propel the company. The putter I had on display in the new product zone was a black finish or black PDD TR1, which is the #1 seller by just a little bit. Yeah, it was. Can't say enough about that show and winning that award.
You don't even have to be a good golfer to go to the PGA show and just be. It's like Disney World, and it just happens to be in Orlando, so it's not far from Disney World. But the idea of just every product that is under the sun is available to put in your hands and to talk to people. I mean, you'll walk around and see tour pros hitting balls, it's a really cool experience. That's really cool that you had the opportunity to, one, be there and have a booth, but also to be able to win such a prestigious award. That's really cool. So where can I purchase a Tru-Roll putter? Can I go to the store down the street, PGA Superstore? Do I get it online, or where can I get a putter?
Depending where you are, we do have a combination of Greengrass accounts. You can get it online at my website, Rock Bottom. There's a few online retailers that carry them. Depending where you are, you can go to your local pro shop and get them. If you're not sure, you can always fire me a quick email, info@Tru-Roll Putters, or you can ask us on any of the social media sites, and we can tell you where the closest dealer is. Hopefully it's close. If it's not close, we do offer a 30-day guarantee. So if you happen to live in, say, Kansas, and there's nobody within a couple hours, it's obviously a lot to ask to drive, very far to go with when you can buy one online and know that if after 30 days you're not 100% happy, as long as you haven't smashed off the car path and it's in resaleable condition, ship it back to me. We'll give you a full refund. We've had that guarantee since inception. Sold a ton of putters, and I haven't had one come back yet. So I'm really confident in saying that it's gonna stay in your bag and help your scores.
That's a pretty good 100% ratio there. That's pretty good. So who do you think the very best PGA Tour putter is right now, and who is the best putter ever?
Great question. I've actually been so busy the last few weeks with just life stuff going on. I haven't watched hardly any golf since the Masters. Spieth has got to be right up there. I haven't seen any statistics really this year. But I guess there's a couple ways to look at it. Statistically, who's the best putter, say, Thursday through Sunday, and who's the best putter, like if your life counter, you had your money on a six-footer, would you want hitting it? Those might be different answers. Spieth will be at the top of the list. Obviously, Jason Day, when the money really counts, he can roll him in. Best all time would be Bobby Lott.
He's above me. Because that's my money regardless.
When it counts, I mean, Tiger's made more clutch putts in those maximum pressure situations or as many as anybody. Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'll take that. I like that. So how does one become a dealer of the putters? You said that there's a handful of places, green grass locations and stuff. So how does somebody out there watching right now become a dealer if they want to sell these putters? What's that process look like?
It can be. Sorry, baby. Can you go upstairs for a couple minutes?
That means that the Wednesday match play is real when you have to break it for a kid that wants to hang out.
This is live. We got two toddlers just entered the room. Girls, go upstairs for a minute, please. The easiest way to be a dealer, if your local pro shop doesn't have them, just go in and say, hey, I'd like to try one of these putters. Any green grass account, whether it's a local pro shop or a brick and mortar store, can just contact us, and we're happy to get them set up. And then also I have a team of inside and outside sales reps around the country who are out actively seeking clubs. But absolutely, if you want to see them in your pro shop and they're not there, just put a little pressure on your local pro, get them in touch with us, and we can take it from there.
Awesome. So Eat Sleep Golf is a little bit, and I didn't even know that you had implemented this. So they said, I love the addition of the movable weights on the heel and toe of the putter, and I feel like that's a trend with drivers. I mean, adjustable heads. Can you share any new design concepts that you are testing or considering?
That's the newest one. We just rolled that out. And like you say, it's not groundbreaking development. There's lots of putters out and drivers out there that can do it. For us, it's been really well received, just like as I'm sure it has for everybody. Give everybody that little more customization, so you can really dial it in the way you want. It's going to help best suit your game. I've got a couple little things in the scratch pad. But I haven't got too far where I even have prototypes that I can play around with at this point.
Okay. Well, the future is bright. I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah,
so really
as soon as I get some, we'll put a little sneak peek out on Instagram and Twitter, generate a little bit of buzz for sure.
And Google Plus and the Google Plus golf community. Wink, wink. Yeah. So do you sell a lot of putters in Japan? I feel like there's a big, especially the LPGA Tour with so many Asian players. I mean, like every week, it's just the LPGA Tour is filled with an Asian Tour leaderboard. You sell a lot of putters in Japan?
I sell an incredible amount of putters in Japan, actually. 80% of all putter sales last year were in Japan, in Asia. The game's crazy popular over there. It's growing over there, which is exciting for golf. We know in the United States, as an overall summary, the game isn't growing as fast as it could be for economic reasons, obviously. But yeah, things are doing very well in Asia, which is really exciting. Yeah, it's
awesome.
nice to get an ad from a magazine. My Japanese, I'm working on it. It still isn't that great. But yeah, anytime I get a picture of a magazine in Japan that's got a Tru-Roll on it in Japanese, it's good to get that. Parents get a kick out of it.
Yeah, because I would have no idea where to even start. But it's funny though. So we do an annual beer trip, and 2 years ago we did it in Asia, and everywhere we went, everybody spoke English. So it was like even if I did know Mandarin, it didn't even matter because they all spoke English. So it was. Wind grips come on your putters. Do you have a relationship with Wind, or do you just like the look and feel of them, or kind of what's that look like for you?
Actually, a couple of years ago, I started out with Wind, and as of the start of 2015, I think I have my own custom grip, which is based on the Ionic. So the Wind grip, I didn't really have a relationship with them. Nothing really. They had a grip that suited my colors a little bit. They're pretty close that way. The Wind grips, obviously, a reputable brand, and it made sense. From there, I went and used Ionic for a little bit, and then had a stock Ionic, and then had a custom Tru-Roll grip.
It's not because Tiger uses the Ping grip, but that's the grip I use because he uses it.
Yeah.
I'm so into Tiger that my car is red and black because Tiger wears red on Sunday. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm hook, line, and sinker when it comes to him. So Eat Sleep Golf said that they hear that there are a couple of NHL players that love using the Tru-Roll putters. Are there any specific product testimonials that you're proud
of? Personally, I'm just as happy when the weekend warrior fires me an email or I'll ask him at the range. I'll see it in the bag. Say, how do you like that? Before they notice that I might have a whole Tru-Roll bag and with my name on it or something like that. Just kind of pick the brains. And for me, it's just as cool when that guy that struggles to break 100s, says he loves it and recommends it to all his friends. That's just as cool as speaking NHL player Zach Boychuk sent a message the other day saying that he was really liking his. They're all good. Anybody that is getting some enjoyment out of it and enjoys it, those testimonials are all good by me.
Awesome.
But if that tour player comes through and helps him, that might be the exception where that one carries a little more weight.
Yeah, tour player. Yeah, I think that might have a little. Nothing against NHL or hockey players. But I think the a tour pro having good things to say might trump that. So you have quite the history in golf. So real quick, just recap what your career has been like, how good of a stick you are, and I know you've got some pretty good scores that you've thrown up there. You've played some pretty epic golf courses. So brief elevator pitch of what your history on the golf course has been.
My brief history. Grew up playing hockey. They built a golf course behind our family farm, so I didn't touch a golf club until I was 14. Played a little bit. When I was 20, I decided it would be better to be a golf pro than mechanics. I'd be at the course all day. So just decided to become a golf pro. And then when I became a golf pro, if you know many assistant pros, basically make you pay peanuts. So you're just trying to get above living at the poverty line, but you can play pretty much anywhere for free if you go through the right channels and approach it in a professional way. And that's kind of the real treat, if you will, of being in that industry, if you go about it the right way. And I've been fortunate enough to play some great courses that you just can't walk on regardless of your bank account, like Riviera, Olympic Club, the National in Toronto. I guess Bannon and Pacific Dunes, those are public courses you can play. But yeah, I've got to play some really good places. I guess I don't know. I'm like a scratch player. This year I played one round about 6 weeks ago. First round of the year. I was 73. I was a low or high main in the group by 4 shots. I haven't touched a club in 6 weeks.
I go a week and don't touch a club and I'm rusty. I can't even imagine. Holy cow.
Last year I played 15 rounds and I played about a scratch or a 1. Back when I was still working as an assistant pro, before kids, and played 40, 50 rounds, I was like a +2. +2 is about as good as I ever got.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So now you mentioned some Canadian courses there, but you didn't mention sagebrush. Do you know much about sagebrush? Because from where I sit, Troon just took over management of sagebrush, our first course in Canada that we've had management with. So you know anything about that area?
Yeah, absolutely. I have played sagebrush. I just didn't have to mention it there. So sagebrush is located is a really interesting spot. I guess you probably know where it is. It's in Merritt, BC, which is just kind of a little bit south of Kamloops. Richard Zokol is a Canadian golf icon, was there in the beginning, and it was the first minimalist golf course in Canada, which suits the Thompson Okanagan of its location very well. It's really cool. The day we were there was one other group, and their whole experience was you just come, and you play for the day, you play as much as you want. There's no tee markers. We don't want to impose where you should tee off from. It was, if you didn't really know where you were going at times, it was kind of difficult. And then best chicken burger I ever had after I think it's the 13th hole, they got Still Quantas set up with unreal chicken burger and a big fly fishing pond. So you can just stop and fish for half hour, 4 hours, whatever you want. Then you just go back out and keep playing. It was really good.
That is I didn't know that about the no tee markers. I'm going to see if they're still going to do that because the course is reopening here very soon. And I mean, they were on the cover of the latest issue of Troon Golf and Travel, and there was a big write-up about the facility. And it sounds like some really cool things happening up there. And a lot of people that I know that are both here in Arizona as well as in Canada they're so excited about it reopening and being under the Troon umbrella. And I'm excited to see what happens up there. So
yeah, it's interesting. I think I heard allegedly, I don't know if the one record, that it was designed as a high-end, ultra high-end private course, and they're hoping to draw a lot of business people from Vancouver, which is about a 3.5-hour drive. And I heard I played it in like 2008, 2007, just shortly after it opened, and the memberships were like about $250,000. And it just didn't quite take off that way, which is great for everybody else that it got to open up and you can get public on it because it is absolutely it's really, really cool. Really
well, that's cool awesome. Spot. It's cool that you've got a connection to it, and it's an exciting thing for us, especially because of being our first facility in Canada, and I've only been to Canada once, but one trip. Like 6 times on the same trip because we went to Niagara Falls and we stayed in New York and
crossed back over. Yeah.
And it was so funny though because they would never stamp my passport, and the last time I was like, no, stamp it. I'm not leaving until you stamp it because I want another country on my passport. They would just wave us on. So. Well,
sorry to interrupt though. While I'm thinking of it, when you go to Sagebrush, you got to make the trip up. You got to play Tobiano, which is in Kamloops. If you haven't heard of it, you got to look that up. It literally looks like a course that you would unlock on Tiger Woods for Xbox. It's made in the hoodoos or coulees, depending on what you want to call them, over Lake Kamloops, I think it's called, and it is out of control. It is unbelievable, and they're about half hour apart.
So that sounds you had me. It looks like a course you could unlock on Tiger. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to look it up. Tobiano.
I've never heard of that, so consider it done. I guess I'm gonna have to plan a long weekend. So that's that. I didn't tell you before we started that this half an hour would fly by, and it's been awesome learning about the product, learning about the putter, your history with it. We've kind of run out of time. Quite frankly, we're over time, but I'm not going to kick you off just yet because we do what's called the lightning round. It's just 9 fun golf-related questions. Some about you, some about golf, some about Tiger. So you ready for the lightning round?
Let's do it.
How many putters collectively in the history of Tru-Roll putters do you think you have produced? rough estimate, unless you are creepy and know that.
Produced or sold?
Produced.
Produced.
Built.
So all right, so I'm gonna add sold, current, global inventory, production. About 15,000.
That's a lot of putters. So what driver, the opposite end of the spectrum, is currently in your bag?
Titleist 915 D2.
Good drive. I just put a new, thanks to Dan Attaway, my both personal trainer and golf professional, I put the new Callaway in my bag last week. First time I'd ever hit it, and I only missed one fairway, so it might be sticking around.
Yeah.
So if you could only play one course that you've already played that is accessible to the public for the rest of your life, what course would you play?
That's a good question. Accessible to public. One course.
I heard you say some private clubs that just, you can't just walk on an Olympic club.
That is a really good question. I'm going to say Gallagher's Canyon in Kelowna.
I've never heard of that, and now that's two that I need to look up because I want to go play there too.
It's just one of those ones that it's a nice tree line, mature pine trees that is just fun to play. It's one of the top 70 or whatever in Canada. There's lots of courses better, but of ones I could play every day and not get tired, that's on the short list for sure.
Awesome. Have you ever had an ace? And I have a feeling based on your playing history, you have.
Yeah, I've had two. Got my first one in the Maritime Atlantic Zone PGA Assistance Championship. It was big backup on the par 3, and the next fifth hole was an elevated par 4, so there's about 5 groups watching. Drained a 7-iron from about $1.65, and of course, I was supposed to buy everybody drinks. Had about 2 nickels to rub together in my pocket, and I finished third and didn't even win enough to cover the entry fee. So that's a little history on these guys trying to make a living playing them.
I've never understood that. I make the ace and I buy drinks? No. I make the ace, you buy drinks. That's none.
Yeah, for a clubhouse full of guys. Yeah, get rid.
So speaking of buying drinks, let's have one. What are you having?
What I got in the fridge right now, it's toss up. I got some Coors Banquet in the fridge, and I got some Jamesons up in the cupboard, and I haven't decided yet.
All right.
What I'm going to have here.
One whiskey, one scotch, and one beer. I like it. What is your all-time favorite golf movie?
It's got to be Caddyshack.
Yeah, I see. For me, it's not. Like, I don't know. Like, it's good, but like maybe I don't want to say before my time because I'm not that young. But Tin Cup and Happy Gilmore are kind of tied. I don't know. The fact that Kevin Costner didn't know how to play golf when he got that role, that excited me enough. And they shot some of that in Tubac, Arizona. So now that I live in AZ, it's like I got that personal touch, even though I've not been to that golf course. And from what I understand, it looks pretty much like that. But yeah.
Fair enough. Can't go wrong with either of those two.
Caddyshack, though, it's got some good one-liners. There's no question about that. So, out of all the courses that you haven't played, and Augusta National or places like that aren't fair, but what's the one course atop your bucket list?
Cypress Point. I almost got on Cypress Point, but you have to have a member book the tee time. The guys in the shop are really gracious and said we'd be happy to look after your fees. We'd love to have you as a guest. But the tee time has to be booked by a member, which is, unless you know the owner of MasterCard or Honda, it's a pretty exclusive list. And that one slipped through my fingers.
That's cool though that you've been close. I got a couple of guys. The golf tournament that I host every summer. A guy that's from California that I've never met. That's like his bucket list. Like he's writing a blog about it. Like he wants to play there so bad, and he's like trying to figure out how he's going to get on. That's cool. That's a good pick though. So we've talked about Tiger a little bit. Do you think he breaks Jack's record? Why or why not? And I'm going to be very cautious in how I react.
I don't want to crush your dreams here. I don't think he's going to. Again, that's just my that's just my opinion. I'm probably wrong. Could easily be. I I think he's got a lot of work cut out for him. If I was a betting man, I wouldn't put money on it. I just think he's had too many health issues now, and there are so many other great young players. Man, it would be tough.
If he comes back healthy, let's say he comes back and he's perfectly healthy and he has 8 to 10 more years of healthy prior Tiger health before he got hurt. Could he then? Does that change your, like, because he's taken a lot more time off than I expected him to. I expected him to be there in the Masters. I expected him to play this week at the Players. No, he's not playing. So if he comes back healthy, can he do it? Does that change?
I mean, he's obviously as talented as anybody that's ever held a club. But for me, that's such a big if. I mean, I'm almost at the opposite end of the scale now. Is can he play a season healthy? Can he, if he could string back 2 years where he can play 14, 15 events, health schedule is, that would be almost an accomplishment in its own right, given his struggles and challenges the last few years. I'd like to see it. But man, that'd be quite a challenge as owner. I think just getting his health back to be able to play that much golf.
I collected and collect his memorabilia, and I've wasted a lot of money if he doesn't break the record. That's all I'm saying. I've spent a lot of money on stuff. Like I've put some people through college and what I've spent on stuff, newspapers and magazines, his face on it. I've got more Wheaties boxes in my collection than people have bought in their life to eat the Wheaties out of. I'm just going to say that. Hey, and your final question, if you want to match play, is what's next for Tru-Roll putters? What's the future look like for you and the putter company?
You know, my daughter, she insists on climbing up on my lap here. Sorry, I didn't quite catch the future for Tru-Roll putters.
Yeah, what's next?
It's right. We've grown, like I say, we've grown exponentially in each of the last couple of years. And we've gone from, just selling locally in Calgary here to over 45 countries. The growth in Asia has been more than I ever could have imagined. So we're just constantly trying to refine the product, refine the company, so we can, the brand loyalty there. We're gaining a nice little following. Like I said, I never get any hate mail. Nobody ever sends a putter back. So just more about finding ways to get the putters in more people's hands. Those that have the chance to roll a few, really like them.
That's awesome. Well, it's been fun getting to know more about the company and to learn more about the history of it, and to be jealous of your skills to get all the way to a +2 handicap, and to hear the stories about kind of the growth of the company, and to be able to meet your daughter. And again, it proves that this is as live and as uncut as it gets. So maybe I should start calling it that, the hashtag Wednesday Match Play Uncut, because it really is. And and as I've done these over the years, I've thought, like, I want to get a better studio and get better cameras and better audio. No, I want this. I want it to be live, real, and uncut. And I know Scott and the team at Eat Sleep Golf appreciates that. Thank you so much for coming on the Wednesday Match Play. It's been awesome getting to know more about the company. And I have to end, as I always do, and just let everyone know that they need to remember to eat, sleep, golf.